So one of the things that can really take your production to the next level and give it the movement and the feel that you want it to have is top-end percussion, right? I'm talking about things like shakers and tambourines, right? All that kind of stuff, right? We want that in our production. It helps to give it a human feel, helps to give it the movement we want. And maybe you don't have, shakers and tambourines and things like that you can record acoustically, and you're looking for a solution for that inside of your production. I've got a tool that I've been using for the past couple of months that I want to show you, and it's called Shimmer Shake Strike 2.
At McCray Music.
All right, guys, how are you? I'm richly blessed. I pray that you are as well. Let's talk about Shimmer Shake Strike 2. Say that 10 times fast, right? Shimmer Shake Strike 2. Shimmer Shake Strike. This is a plugin by a company called In Session Audio. And what it does is it gives us a variety of different shakers, different shimmer or shaking instruments or shimmery instruments like tambourines, and different striking instruments, right? Bottles and things like that. And it allows us to create patterns all in this one plugin where we can have basically these 3 different instruments going at the same time to create some top-end percussion. And this is really cool. There are different ways that we can configure the patterns however we want. There are different ways we can trigger things. We can run our patterns as loops, or we can just play individual instruments. But it gives us the ability to construct our percussion section, or our top-end percussion section, however it is that we want, all in this one track instead of having to have multiple channels. You know how we do. Shaker 1, Shaker 2, Tam 1, Tam roll, Tam strike. You have all these different channels that you group together to kind of get the sound that you want. Well, we can do all that right inside of this one plugin. So we're going to take a look at that. Before we do, I want you to take a moment and do your finger like this on the mouse. You know how we do. Hit like on the video. That helps out tremendously. Also, feel free to subscribe. Why not? Click the mouse. Go over there. Click subscribe. Turn on notifications so that way you can be notified when new videos are coming out, because there's really good stuff going on over here on the Ed McCray Music channel, right? You want to be a part of that. Tell a friend. Tell a loved one. Come on over and watch these videos. All right, so let's take a look at Shimmer Shake Strike 2. All right, guys, let's take a look at what we've got here. I've got a track pulled up here, and I've got a section of it looped. Let's just listen to one round of the chorus. Nice little Afro beats thing. Let me add in the rest of the track real quick. All right, cool. So nice little thing here. I'm gonna mute the guitar and the bass for right now. And I wanna add some percussion to this, and we're gonna use Shimmer Shake Strike 2 to do that. So let's do it. Shimmer Shake Strike is a contact instrument. So let's go ahead and load up Contact, and we are using Contact 7. Load it up. All right, let's go ahead and grab Shimmer Shake Strike 2, which is right here. Let's drop that in there. Beautiful. All right, so first of all, my first impressions, and I have been using this, like I said, for a couple months now. First impressions were very easy interface, right? User interface is very important, right? No matter how powerful a tool is, it's not going to work if you can't navigate it, right? So very simple. Let's just go over this real quick. We have our main area where I can choose my instruments, right? I can have up to 3 different percussive instruments here. We have our pattern area here where we can start to set the pattern that we want to use for each instrument. And we have, of course, our mixer. Of course, this is going to help us shape the overall sound of the instrument, right? Very straightforward. Couple of interesting things here. I could choose to trigger Shimmer Shake Strike either with my keyboard. So it's set to keys by default. So if I hit a key on my MIDI controller, you can't see it, but this is me touching my MIDI controller, right? It is going to start triggering a loop. Or I can switch it to be triggered by the host. So it'll be triggered by me pressing play. It's just going to play whatever's there. Right? So that's great if you want to audition some sounds, which we're going to do in a moment before you're ready to set your pattern, right? I also have a sync area. This is cool. I could either have the pattern be synced to the grid, so basically wherever it's at in the song, as far as beats and measures, that's where the pattern will pick up. Or I can switch it to user so that every time I hit a key on my MIDI controller, it starts the pattern from step 1. Okay. We can hit play, of course. We can switch to half speed. Right. And then here we can see some MIDI options over here. All right. So this is cool. So let's see some of the different instruments that are here, and let's just solo this. And let's play around with some of the different sounds that are here. All right, so it starts me off by default with an egg shaker, which is a shake instrument, of course, a tambourine, which could be a shimmer or a strike instrument, and a maraca, which is, of course, a shake instrument as well. And I can have any combination of things here, but you can only use each instrument once, all right? So let's just see what we've got, and we'll play around with some different instruments. So I know that in this track, I kind of want to have a shaker, and probably a nice little combination of a shaker and like a strike instrument, kind of like a bottle top or like something like that, right? So let's mute the tambourine for now. And let's actually mute the maraca. And let's just start with the egg shaker. It starts having things panned left, center, and right, which is cool. We can adjust that. But let's play around with some sounds here. Let's switch this. Right, so we have all these different pages of things here. I don't even know what that is. Shells. Okay, so that's what that is. All right. So we have all these different shakers here. I kind of think I want to stick with my egg shaker right here. We're going to change the pattern, of course, right? So let's stick with our egg shaker, and then let's pick another sound to work with it. Let's come over here to our maraca, and let's actually unmute that. And let's get like a, let's see what else we got in here. And let's try something else. I kind of like that. All right, so let's go with whatever this is right here. What is that? Mic shaker. All right, so that's cool. So you have all these different instruments to mess about with, right? And then let's go ahead and choose our strike instrument. Now, again, you could choose any combination of these that you want. You don't have to use all three. I really like that. One of the things I love in plugins is flexibility, so I really appreciate the flexibility. It's not making me have to pick all three. I can just do 1 or 2 or 3, whatever I want, all right? So let's take a look at our strike instrument, and let's unmute that. So we kind of have like a tambourine that's hitting. Let's switch that. Let's go to strike. Got all kind of stomps, all kinds of stuff in here. Right, we got drums in here, right? Look at all this. Just a ton of different things. I think I'm gonna go with this guy right here. All right, so we've got the instruments in place that we want. Now let's start setting up a pattern here. All right, so I'm gonna go over to pattern. And in pattern here, there's lots of stuff here. We won't get into all these different features, but I can choose to set this up however I want in regards to linking different patterns together. So I could have it where all of them are playing the same pattern or 2 of them are playing the same pattern, right? Whatever it is I want. I can humanize it so it's not like right on the grid, but it kind of has a human element to it. And then down at the bottom, I can start controlling things like the rate, the swing, the feel, the pattern. I can switch how many steps the pattern has, right? I can get up to 64 steps. So you can get a fairly complex pattern, or we can go as simple as, just 4 steps or whatever. I'm going to stick with a nice 16-step pattern, so just 1 page here. But again, if we wanted to, we could go and have multiple pages here like so. All right. So let's start playing around, and I'm going to deal with each of these. So here we see we can choose the velocity of each hit. And up here we have different rolls, right? So I could choose what I want. So let's start with our egg shaker here, and let's have it, let's see what we got. Let's slow that down a little bit. Let's get a little bit more of an impact. Let's have it do a little roll at the end. I like that. I like that. All right, let's work in our other shaker. All right. Let's hear what that sounds like within the track. All right, so that sounded good. So as you can see, we can start playing around with the pattern, with the velocity of each hit, with it, if it's going to roll. Let's add in our strike instrument. Let's unsolo these. Let's get something going on here. I like that. I like that. Let's play around with some of with the sound of it. Let's go to our mixer here. Let's see what we can do. Let's solo this. Let's adjust the tuning of our clav here. And let's change this reverb. You can bring it down. Switch to a different one. Let's go to a room. I like that. How about we get a little delay on our clav? All right, this is good. Let's hear it inside the track. Let's take it away. Let's add it back in. See how that immediately makes you want to move a little bit more? Right, let's take it out. That's cool. Add that shaker back in. Oh, hey. So So that is great, right? So very easily in one shot, I got one instrument here. All that's coming from one instrument. And it's adding in what I need. Now I actually use this for real later on in the track. I just did that for demo. I actually use this for real later on in the track. Let's go later on here into our track where I'm actually using that, which is back here towards the end of the song. And let's just solo and hear what I actually did with our strike. Got like a little strike situation happening here. Let's look at what's going on. I got a bell, a castanet, and a bottle. And in the track it's doing this. Let's just solo the rhythm section. A. 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 Let's take that out. Just adding just a little something, right? Adding it. So that's great, right? So we're easily able to use Shimmer Shake Strike 2 to get our percussion, our top end percussion, sounding the way that we need it to sound. And it is fantastic. I love it. I love it. Absolutely worth the investment, in my opinion. All right, guys, so as usual, I always like to show you the actual instrument on the product page so you can see how much it costs and see if this is an investment that you want to make, right? So you go to InSessionAudio.com. If we look at their products here, right, they've got all kinds of stuff in here. Again, if you go to Virtual Instruments, Shimmer Shake Strike 2 is there. Take a look here at it, and it gives you all this stuff. I wish they would just put the price of stuff right at the top. They never do that. They always make you go all the way to the bottom. It's going to be $1 million, but by then you're hooked. So let's see how much this is currently going to cost. Right now, you can get version 2 with the expansion pack or if you're an owner, you can get version 2. If you had Shimmer Shake Strike 1, you can get the whole thing for $60. If you are buying this for the first time, they do have a special where you can get the core and the expansion pack combo for $110 so a $40 discount, right? And then if you just wanted the core package, you can just get that for $120, which I don't see any reason to. If you're gonna go ahead and do this, go ahead and get it with the expansion, right? So that's not bad, right? We're not talking about $50 here, but $100 for all of that stuff that's in there. If you are going to be using a lot of percussion, again, always think about why you are making that particular investment. Card up in the top to a video where I talk about how to know when to upgrade. I decided to go ahead and get Shimmer Shake Strike 2 a while back because I was embarking on several different projects that I needed to have lots of percussion, and I just needed a better way to do it. And I wanted some different, better percussion sounds than the ones that I was using, right? So this is here, and you can definitely check that out if you are interested at InSessionAudio.com. Okay, so that's really cool. Again, I've been using that for a couple of months now. It has been very, very helpful to me. It has been a very good investment, and not a big investment either, right? You can go and grab it and you can start getting good top end percussion into your productions. All right, go ahead and leave a like on this and subscribe again to this channel so that you can know what is going on, and get into the chat. Ask questions if you have questions, if you have specific things that you would like for me to make videos about or what have you, or if you just want to say, hi Ed, how you doing? Whatever the case might be, I love conversing with you guys. I love the interaction. So feel free to go ahead in the comment section and do that. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. See you again soon in another video.